Hi, I'm Erin from erinbusby.com, and this is the story of the last day I obsessed over cellulite. It happened 8 years ago when I was 24, and I was really new to the world of figure modeling. I had worked with this particular group one time before, and about 20 people had been there, plus the moderator. On this particular day, only one person had come, plus the moderator. So the session was really tailored to what he wanted to get from the session. And usually with figure modeling, you take the stage, you take off the robe, you set an egg timer, and then you start with gestures, which are 1-minute poses to show the range of motion of the body, and you get more of a feeling of flow rather than shape. So then from 1 minute you move to 5-minute poses, and 5 minutes is about the longest you want your arms suspended without support from your body or from another solid object. And then you get to 10-minute poses, and at 10 minutes you want to make sure that you're not cutting off circulation to your feet, and you want to make sure that your arms are grounded because you're going to start shaking and fatiguing. And at 20 minutes, usually those poses are done either seated or fully reclined, because you won't be able to maintain the full pose. So if your arms were up here connected to a pole or something, they would start slowly falling, and it changes the shape, it changes the lighting. Well, this particular artist requested a 40-minute pose, and I had never done one before. And somehow my mind didn't fully comprehend that twice a 20-minute pose was going to be really painful. And I made the beginner mistake of crossing my legs. And so I was seated in a not terribly comfortable chair, but so not an armchair, but not a folding chair, somewhere in between. And I crossed my legs and I relaxed, thought, okay, I'm gonna be fine here. There's still an interesting angle, he has something to draw. Well, after about 15 minutes, my body started shaking, and the contracted muscles shake first. And because it takes contraction to keep your legs crossed, my legs were shaking pretty badly. After about 20 minutes, my legs were sweating, and my top leg was starting to slip off the bottom leg, and so I had to contract even harder to prevent it from slipping. And after that, I was just shaking. And it took so much effort to stay still. And I was trying to distract my brain from what was happening with my body by staring at the clock, but it wasn't moving fast enough. And then focusing on my body and trying to breathe through it. But I realized that if my muscles are shaking and my bones are slipping, my cellulite is also jiggling. And if my legs are in a different position, the lighting's going to be different. It might be emphasizing the dimpling more, or it might be changing how his drawing is set up. And I was fixated on what my hips and thighs looked like. And we finished the 40 minutes, finally. And I looked at his sketch pad, and he had spent 40 minutes focusing on one curl by the side of my face. He hadn't looked at my legs the entire time. It hadn't been relevant in the slightest. I could have uncrossed them at any point, and it would not have made any material difference to his study. And that's when I decided, I'm not obsessing over this anymore. I have better things to do with my time, and frankly, so did he. And so does everybody else. If they don't, think how empty their lives must be that the greatest thing of importance is a structure, a physiological structure that is normal in healthy adult women. If they're fixating on that, there's so much more wrong with the picture. It's not worth your time. All right, talk to you later with more stories. Bye.